we had our architect, Joseph Smith, who's from Madison, Georgia, a well-known award-winning architect, to come down, and he's been evaluating the property over the last 2 years. He presented to us a preservation plan that's going to give us a 21st century look to Fairview, a look that will emulate the way the campus looked as it did back in the 1920s, and give tourists and the community an opportunity to see this new Fairview, one that includes a restored first-grade school building, a school building that has an interpretive center of the educational experiences during that period of time, a campus that will also include the old privies that reside now out way back beyond the bushes, a building that a campus that gives you the look and feel of the educational experience during that period of time that brought together the community, the PTA, the school teachers, and Northwest Georgia. The plan itself calls for the total restoration of the building itself. He tells us that he can restore it back to the way that it traditionally looked back during that period of time, but it's going to require some work. We actually thought that the first piece of construction should have been on the roof, but he's telling us that our piers and the pillars that actually steady the building are the areas that need the most attention at this point in time. So the first part of this particular project will be to shore up the building. For the grounds, which we see right now, are in terrible disrepair. He's envisioned the 4 tiers has been a great place. The natural setting itself speaks for itself. That includes beautiful trees, flowers, and that sort of thing. The main building, we're planning to feature it through the story of gardens. That will be gardens that tell a story of the first grade, second grade, and third grade, and will be aligned with certain vegetation that will be incorporated into that particular plan. And then, of course, lining the outside of it with the bricks that we found, some from the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, that would define the area of the building. We're now in the process of sharing that with the community so that they can give us some input. We always offer that from the community because we know that it is a community project. Oh, this particular plan made it a reality. It made it a reality. We see this as a major milestone in the project. Several people, alumni as well, have commented on the fact that we have this opportunity now to cement into some sponsors' mind what we eventually plan to do with this particular project and to make it more worthwhile. There is some hesitation about us using the one particular area here as a garden, in effect, because there's so much of a natural setting that some of the people are afraid that some of the wild animals may come up. But we feel that we'll be able to, enclose the area in such a way that that won't be a problem. In addition to that, Georgia School for the Deaf is just up on a hill away from us, and they have a natural setting themselves of a garden that they maintain themselves, and we're sure that we'll be able to use their help in maintaining the garden. This whole project has been a challenge, and I suspect it was the same challenge that existed back in the 1920s when it was just a terrible time, headed right into the Depression. People just didn't have money, but people still wanted an education, and people still wanted the value system that existed during that period of time. So we're going to fall back onto the efforts of that area and hope that the community will come forward to help us with the in-kind gifts that we need. We are especially relying upon some individual or a corporation to help us from a sponsorship area, perhaps as a title sponsor with naming rights, to come in and help us do the major repairs.